Well, hey guys, it's Dr. Drake 63 here today, and I'm taking first shots with that Beretta 92S that we showed you a video or two ago. And right off the bat, I want to tell you that it did everything it was supposed to. I've heard examples of these firearms coming and the springs were worn out, they wouldn't feed properly, and things like that. Flawless function, that's what you want out of a handgun, whether it's old or it's new. And this one certainly provides that. Do have a little bit of getting used to with this heel release on the magazine, but so far so good. See how this other magazine works. Failure, go to battery. After those first two failures, every other round out of that magazine worked just fine. So usually something like that is a spring that just is being stubborn. So two failures didn't happen until I used this other magazine. So I'm going to try this other magazine one more time, make sure it's the mag. This trigger is going to take a little getting used to. So I've got some opinions about my spare mag now, I'm not going to lie. But the one that came with the gun, flawless. The gun functions flawlessly with it. Let's go see what that target looks like at 10 paces. So definitely not shooting 1911 style groups here at all, folks. But I'm also fooling around with a new gun and a new trigger. We're going to concentrate a little bit more and take our time on this. Maybe see if we can't make some adjustments. As mentioned in an earlier video, those sights are really hard to acquire. It's certainly an up-close combat gun. You're probably not spending a lot of time lining up sights anyway, but I'd like to see if I could get something really tight up in here. And it's clear to me that it shoots a little bit lower than where I'm aiming because my sights are lined up to shoot right here. So I'm going to see if we can get a nicer group up in here. So I mentioned magazines in the video, specifically when I was shooting this one, which is a Beretta magazine. It's not an aftermarket. Was the second magazine that came along with the original, and you can tell the original older ones have this flat floor plate, and the newer ones have this thicker plastic floor plate. But all Beretta manufactured magazines, including new ones, have this cutout to accept this heel mag release that you saw on the 92S and they got away from as they progressed into the FS and later models. But I'll give you a caveat. If you get a non-Beretta magazine for the 92FS, it will probably not have this cutout. So if you want to replace magazines for a 92S, make sure you get a Beretta magazine for the 92, and it works for all versions of the 92. So just wanted to point that out. I've not given up on this one. It had not been used for years. I loaded it up full, and the first two did not want to feed, and I think that that has to do with probably just a spring that needs to be worked. So we'll keep working on that. But just an interesting tidbit, guys, on if you want to get aftermarket magazines for the 92S, don't do it. Get a Beretta. But what do I really get a firearm like this to do? I'll be honest. Do that without jamming. That's what we're looking for every time. And from that standpoint, most definitely this Beretta is ready to go. I don't see issues with springs or anything like that. I do doubt that one magazine that had two failure to feeds early in the magazine, which tells me it's probably just an old spring and not the follower. But in terms of this magazine that came with, perfect function, shot over 50 rounds through it, 60 or so. And as you can see, this firearm functions flawlessly. The question is the accuracy. Again, The biggest issue I see are these really short sights. I mean, it's really hard to get a sight picture on them at all. But it's not a target gun. That much we figured out. We'll see if with some practice and some more time on the trigger, that becomes something that we do figure out. So as mentioned earlier, this Beretta does not shoot like a 1911 in terms of accuracy. It does not shoot like my Browning high power in terms of accuracy. And I think more than anything else, as I pointed out, is it's the sights. They're next to non-existent. I don't think it's an issue with the barrel or any kind of issues like that. So I'm not going to replace the sights. They're not really made to be replaced. If you see here on the frame, it's just basically a part that protrudes from the frame. You can't really do anything about it. But in terms of doing what a firearm's supposed to do, which is reliably go bang and hit targets out to say 30 yards probably realistically in some type of a firefight situation, it does what it's supposed to. So we'll leave it at that. I thank you for watching today. This is Dr. Drake 63 saying so long. Stay safe, stay healthy, guys.